WFLA is your station for the best sports coverage in Tampa Bay. We've got all the big-time teams covered. The Buccaneers, the Rays, and the Lightning. Super Sports Sunday starts right now.
You know, great individual work. We have a long ways to go, but about Jameis, I thought he had a good first day. Can't ask for a whole lot more.
Hey, imagine if Bucs could actually flying around the field. You know, that'd be pretty advantageous, wouldn't it?
They were flying around today. It was nice instead of umbrellas. Day 2 of training camp in the books. Everybody looked pretty good out there, Paul.
Well, they looked dry at least.
Yeah, that was good. We're dry indoors tonight for Super Sports Sunday. Dan Lucas alongside Paul Ryan. You were out at One Buck Place today, and first of all, I will envy you.
I'm sorry about the short straw that you drew for having to go stand outside in the rain.
Stuck with Mark Cook of the Pewter Report under one umbrella, by the way.
I didn't even bring the umbrella today.
Yes, exactly.
A lot drier out at One Buck today. Bit of a mixed bag, though, especially on offense for the Bucs. Started a little slow, picked up better as the day went along. Yeah, the guy everyone wants to talk about right now, though, Jameis Winston, obviously.
Winston, as you said, Paul, it started out slow, but everybody, you read Twitter as the day went on, and it got better and better. The fans were cheering everything. Very sharp on throws and tight, but not nearly as accurate as the mid to the long range passes. But he hit a little bit of everything today.
Well, he was better in 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s than 1-on-1s, which is what you'd want because they play football 11-on-11s. Mike Evans, his favorite target today, hooked up for a few big plays. That guy just has incredible hands. Here's Lovie Smith sounding off about his new starting quarterback.
I thought he had a good first day. Can't ask for a whole lot more from a rookie. His first, true practice outside. Thought receivers caught the ball well, and we did some good things on the offensive side.
All right, Lovie says it's hard to tell exactly what you're going to get until they put on the pads.
That's what they say about us, but with the sports code.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly.
Get these guys a shirt and tie, you never know.
Padded like kickers' pads here.
Yeah.
Possibly Tuesday, getting in pads. And I know fans love that workout the best. Get a little goal line action going on.
Well, they got the day off on Wednesday. And so if you put them in pads on Tuesday, we were joking about this earlier. Run them into the ground on Tuesday.
Exactly.
One guy who really caught my eye today, despite the fact that no one was wearing pads, Kenny Bell. And it's not just the afro. He's got a great haircut, Dan. You could borrow a strand or two. The rookie wideout from Nebraska, Kenny Bell, he got a lot of work with the first-team offense today. That's because Lewis Murphy out with an ankle injury right now. Bell looked absolutely great.
Very good hands. He looked good in the offseason program as well. A guy ready to come in here.
Got wheels.
Get after it. Get after it. It could be a good yard after the catch guy. Lovie Smith said even he noticed Bell today. He never tips his hand on who had the best practice, but he mentions him today. Could factor into the kick return game. Most importantly, though, building some chemistry with the starting quarterback.
Jameis the kind of guy that'll be 1 o'clock in the morning and I'll be sitting up hanging out and he'll be rolled over and then he'll call out a play and tell me what receiver I am and ask me what do I got. And I'll tell him, and he'll giggle and be like, "Ha, you thought I was asleep, huh?" So that's the type of relationship that we're starting to build. His dedication to his work is unbelievable. The man's football intelligence, his football IQ is just, it's unbelievable. It's something I've never been around before as far as player to player.
Yeah. Sleep play calling.
Wonder if they built like a fort or something and they're just sitting up late reading books, listening to the rain last night. Very romantic.
It is very romantic. They might have to practice, though, in the rain much longer. That was the big story, of course, on Saturday, Paul. And right away, today, on Sunday, who shows up? Brian Glazer.
Big news today, too. And that's, by the way, we might not have to practice in the rain for very much longer. Word of building an indoor practice facility at One Buck. After yesterday's debacle and then saw the practice moved over to USF, Glazer met with the media today and shared some pretty big news.
We actually are working on that right now. We have the architects have been drawing that up. That is a work in progress, and it's going to happen. As soon as we get the drawings all done, we will give you further details, but that is actually happening. That is farther along than most people understand, and that's something that we have understood. But over the years, we haven't had too many missed practices.
Glazer said he's optimistic that they could get that built by next year, so fingers crossed.
And meanwhile, the Trop sitting there empty. You know, the Bucs used the Trop a couple of times last season.
Do the Rays still use the Trop?
Well, they didn't this weekend because they're on the road. They wrapped up their road trip in Boston. They're headed to Chicago now. They were in danger of getting swept by the Red Sox today, but you know what? Just send the first guy up there and say, hit a home run. Brandon Guyer did just that, a leadoff homer. That's the second time he's done that
He's my
season.
guy,
Yeah,
pal,
absolutely. Third inning, David Ortiz, Big Papi, who never hits it to left field, but in this case he does off the monster. Good thing Papi's running the bases. He doesn't get far.
Wait, get the first?
Xander Bogaerts, though, he hustles home to make it 3-1. Fourth inning, James Loney down that long right field there at Fenway Park as Drupal Cabrera hustles home.
Even with the hand.
Yeah, absolutely. They cut it 3-2. Now it's tied. Loney and Cabrera hook up again. This time a little bloop in the perfect spot. That's the go-ahead run. The Rays get out of Boston with a 4-3 win. They play the other Sox tomorrow night in Chicago. All right, plenty more to come here on Super Sports Sunday.
Yeah, when we get back, we're joined by another guy sloshing through the mud at $1 today, Roy Cummings of the Tampa Tribune, to talk some finer points in training camp, including number 22 in white. Hey, Dan, it's football season, man.
A gunslinger mentality is good, all right? It's a good thing to have. What we have to also have, though, is great judgment. We all have seen those quarterbacks that are going to check it down every time, no matter what. We don't want that either. Turnovers get you beat the fastest, but explosive plays help you win the fastest.
Gunslinger Jameis, just having fun out there. He's like Brett Favre in a Jets jersey, just flinging it around. No picks today, though. So
an orange Jets jersey. Our buddy Roy Cummings of the Tampa Tribune, who did rain and dry Bucs practices this week. You went through the debacle that we saw last year. You know, you had no offensive coordinator basically through the season, and we thought maybe they could get on their feet. They never did.
No.
Enter Dirk Cutter into the situation here. What has this done? Just 2 days into camp and through this offseason.
I'll tell you what, just the feel around the camp is something different because I think everybody realizes they've got a legitimate, well-known, established offensive coordinator, someone with a tremendous plan, a plan that's worked before. Everybody around camp very excited. And, you know, talking to him today, he said things that we haven't heard a lot of. You know, he doesn't want Captain Check Down. He wants a guy who's got that gunslinger mentality a little bit because he's got confidence. So, hey, it's going to be good stuff with him out running this offense, I think.
Is he the right guy for Jameis at this point in his career? Dirk's been around the block once or twice.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. Look, this is a guy who had David Garrard when he was in Jacksonville and turned him into a pretty good quarterback, actually a top 10 quarterback. And then he obviously had Matt Ryan and had a lot of success with him as well. This is a guy who knows how to make offenses work. He knows how to establish both a passing game and a running game, get them all working together, make use of all these weapons that you have. And let's face it, guys, the Bucs seem to have a lot of weapons.
One of those weapons, Doug Martin. Here's him talking about Dirk Cutter's offense.
You know, we like what Dirk is doing out here. He's pretty hands-on, and you know, we have a balanced offense, and you know, with the guys that we have, you know, we're going to have a pretty good, potent offense, and I can't wait to get it started.
The potency of that offense might rely pretty heavily on that guy,
a running
22.
Back potentate is what you need.
Well, they've got one in Doug Martin. Look, guys, he has looked better than I've seen him since, obviously, 2012. He's been hurt. He talked about it a lot. That this week he talked about it, that the injuries are a problem. He doesn't want to use them as an excuse, but the bottom line is, guys, he was hurt playing behind a bad offensive line. If the line can be a little bit better and he can be healthy, he can be a dynamic runner again for this football team.
Didn't get a ton of work today, but looked pretty good, and he said he felt pretty good, and Lovey agreed. Let's hear from him.
You know, my weight's down, my body fat percentage is down, and I'm feeling fast out here, and I'm strong, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
I just know that Doug has been great through all season program. It seemed like he's running hard out there right now. No complaints. Again, he, like the rest of us, plan on performing a lot better this year, and he'll get an opportunity to.
However, Roy, as the great Raheem Morris used to say, everybody looks good in underwear.
Yeah, yeah, it is underwear football.
Not us. I think, you know, Lovie Smith is a big fan of the offensive line when they get pads on in practice. I think the running backs, I think you have to wait into the preseason games even.
You do. That's definitely one of the positions, defensive line, offensive line, even some of the secondary positions. Those are spots that you have to get into pads to really get an idea of what they're going to look like. But let's face it, guys, Doug Martin at this point, we're seeing a lot of the lateral agility that he didn't have last year for sure. We're seeing the burst that he didn't have last year and the year before. Those are the keys, and that's what the Bucs are looking at. That's what has them excited about Doug Martin for this season.
All right, hoping he stays healthy, Roy. Not time to send you to bed just yet.
More Bucs. Hey, on the other side of the break, Lavonte David still without that new contract, but will he be a Buck for life? Hey, Coach Chairman Brian Glazer hopes so. You're going to hear from him when Super Sports Sunday returns.
He's been great. He just lines up and listens and does what he's told. So that's what I want my left tackle to do, is just whatever call I make, do it. Don't try to make any calls.
Sit down and shut up. That's Bucs guard Logan Mankins talking to our rookie left tackle Donovan Smith. Just do what the veteran says.
I love it. And Roy, I go back to last year, the last preseason game. We introduced Logan Mankins with that trade for Tim Wright to the Patriots. And I will never forget the look on his face. First of all, he was exhausted when he got here, but he just looked stunned that he was even traded to begin with. I don't think he ever got on his feet like he hoped to.
No, I don't think he did, and he kind of talked about that a little bit today as well. You know, we asked him, you know, how tough a year was it for you? And he kind of admitted, hey, it just didn't work out. It was one of those years you kind of want to put behind you. But he has come back, and he talked about that as well today. About he's come back, he's got a new attitude. He knows he has to be the leader of this offense. Look, he's the seasoned veteran. You see him there with Gerke and all the young guys. I mean, it's a young offensive line for the most part. Even DeMar Dotson is young in a lot of ways. So he's going to be one of the big leaders on this offense. One of those guys that Jameis Winston's going to look to. A lot of people are going to look to, not just the guys on the offensive line.
Is he? I mean, we've heard, okay, he's going to step up and be more of a vocal leader in the offseason, and that came to fruition really during the program. But is he the leader now in this offensive line?
I think he is, and I'll tell you what, you can't lead unless you can play at a high level, and that's what he is just determined to do this year, is prove that he can still be a Pro Bowl caliber player. This is a guy who I think he's got a lot more pride than people realize. I think that was questioned last year when he looked at times like he didn't want to be here, played at times like he didn't want to be here. But right now, this is a guy who wants to prove to everybody, hey, I'm not the player that played in that Bucs uniform last year. I'm the guy that used to play for the Patriots, and I still am that player.
And the success of that O-line might come right on his big shoulders. He knows that offensive line play is going to be pretty important.
Yeah. If you have a bad line, it's hard to win. You can't run the ball, can't throw it. So whenever you see a team lose, usually they blame the O-line a lot of times. And if they win, they give all the credit to the quarterback. So that's how it is.
Yeah, give all the credit to Jameis if they succeed, right? Real quick, tough to tell anything about the defense today because obviously we're not in pads, but anybody that stood out to you?
Yes, two guys, Danny Lansana and Quan Alexander. We talked about it last week.
Position battle.
Yes, those are two guys, folks, that are fighting for a position, strong side linebacker. There's a battle going on, and it started already. Even though they're only in shorts, T-shirts, let me tell you, folks, these guys are really playing hard, and they're getting their hands on the ball. It's
and
good.
Lavonte David got his hands on the ball a couple times today. Looked all right despite the fact that he's still going through the contract situation.
Yeah, he is. Look, that's not going to bother him. He's too much of a professional. He knew what the contract situation was going to be. I think he realized that it was going to be along the lines of the Gerald McCoy time frame, which means maybe end of October, maybe even a little bit later for Lavonte. Tough contract to work out, but they'll get it done.
And Coach Chairman Glazer spoke with us a little earlier in the day. He thinks that a deal might be imminent with David.
He's a pillar for this organization. You know, with Gerald and him, these are two guys that we want here for their entire careers, and we expect they will be. Lavonte wants to be here. We want Lavonte here. The two sides, you know, Jason is working diligently with their agents to get it done. So we're confident that will get done. We're just waiting for it to happen.
It helps that Gerald McCoy was in a similar spot. Got his done. Be a pro. Be a pro. That's what McCoy said yesterday.
Absolutely, yes. Come to work, be a pro, and you know what? That's look. That's what the message is from the Bucs to the players, and the players get it. They know that they're going to be part of this team, a big part of it for years to come.
All right, great stuff tonight, Roy.
Thank you.
As always, we'll see you out there tomorrow.
I will not be in my underwear.
All right. Neither
players will be. I will not.
Much more to come on Super Sports Sunday. Busy day elsewhere besides Bucs camp.
Really? Outside of this ball?
You know, this guy was running. Well, a horse.
American Pharoah already made plenty of history. Dan and I will tell you why he's really cementing his legacy now. Stay with us.
It is a rousing return for a living legend. American Pharoah won by 3. He could have won by 20.
57 days off, and American Pharoah still toying with the competition.
I want 57 days off.
Yeah, me too. I think we have that coming to us still, Paul.
No.
Welcome back to Super Sports Sunday. This is my favorite 5 minutes of the night, with the exception of my Keurig coffee break in the office.
That brews in 30 seconds.
Congratulations to the Keurig Company, your free plug. Paul, American Pharoah won the Haskell Invitational today, part of the Breeders' Cup Series, made a mockery of the field again. Are we watching the greatest horse ever?
I want to say nay, but that would just be horsing around. First of all, Dan, anyone who bet $2 today in Vegas took home $2.20. Horse is making some real money. You can't even buy one of your K-Cups with that. No Triple Crown winner in 37 years, and all of a sudden, American Pharoah bursts onto the scene and blows every horse out of the water in every race. If he lost today, I don't think it would have tarnished his place in history.
No, and what he's doing is setting the stage for the actual Breeders' Cup Championship, which comes later in the year. He has his pick of races coming up here that he can run to cement his legacy, which, by the way, I think is probably the greatest in the history of the sport.
And then they put him out to pasture to breed, which isn't such a bad life.
That's a good gig. Good gig.
Baseball's trade deadline, our next topic, gave us some fireworks this year, some big trades in the last 24 hours. Johnny Cueto, Cole Hamels, Yoenis Cespedes. A Cespedes for the rest of us. Dan, what do you think about the trade deadline?
Well, I'm not going to say it's overrated. I think it's overthought. Here you have the Kansas City Royals, who came close to a World Series title last year. They get that piece that can put them over the hump in Johnny Cueto. But here's the problem. Why in the world did the Toronto Blue Jays need David Price? You can laugh at me all you want, but this is a team, a group of bashers built to score runs. You throw in Troy Tulowitzki, Ben Rivera to the mix. They gave up, Paul, 11 minor leaguers to get 5 players.
Pretty good, too.
That's selling out. That is selling out, even without a guarantee of making the postseason.
6 back, 7 back?
6 games behind the Yankees, tied with the Orioles. I know they're closer to a wild card spot, but if you're right there and you need that final push, yes, the Blue Jays, this could end up badly and be a bad
If Price resigns, it's a good move. If he doesn't, they're going to look foolish.
Yeah, well, it's going to cost all of Toronto to get him back. Hey, South Korea's NB Park joined an exclusive club today, winning the Women's British Open by 3 shots, making her the 7th player to complete golf's Grand Slam. There's a little asterisk for the haters here, Paul. Park won the Evian Championship.
What?
The year before, it was added as the 5th major tournament. Are we getting a little technical here with poor Miss Park?
Yeah, that doesn't even register in my top 5 favorite brands of water. That's kind of like saying the teams that won NFL titles before the Super Bowl didn't actually win. Good luck telling them that, because they're going to hang the banners anyway. Park's the top player in the game for a reason. 7 majors, Dan, including 6 of the last 14. That's getting to Tiger Woods territory there.
Well, she's in the middle of dominance, quite frankly. And you know what? She'll probably win the Evian anyway next year.
And she wears that vest pretty well, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Finally, someone other than Kyle Busch finally won a NASCAR race on the Sprint Cup circuit. Matt Kenseth passed guys who were literally running out of gas. What's gas go for now? $2.38? I got to fill
I don't know, but Kyle Busch needed $2.38 to win today. This is it, by the way. Look at him. He's trying to get to the checker flag, and there's Matt Kenseth in the yellow car. Have you ever had the gas light go on in your car?
Yeah, I don't do anything about it.
And you're trying to push this. Kyle Busch today, Paul, had he won this race, was going to get into that top 30. That's the number he needs to get into the chase. He has 5 chances now to make up 13 points. I think he's as good as in. I said it last week. It's one of the greatest stories in sports of the summer. And unfortunate for him today, it comes down to computers and the abacus. And calculus.
Like the BCS, right?
Yes, exactly. Wind speed. Unfortunate finish for Kyle Busch today.
All right, Dan, we got to get going. More to come still on Super Sports Sunday. After 2 minutes of paying bills, there's no crying in baseball, except when there is.
This is a business part of the game, Gary, and it can be heartless and unsympathetic.
Wait, what did Tom Hanks say once? You know, this is what happens. This is what happens when you listen to Twitter, watch Baseball Tonight, on some other network. Wilmer Flores thought he was getting traded. Mets manager Terry Collins pulled him aside at some point and said, what are you doing? You're not traded.
He was also picking his nose on television there. I would be more embarrassed about that.
Crying in front of him. It was a heartwarming story. That's our oops of the week, which brings us to our play of the week. See if you can spot this guy.
Flores drives it. Deep left center field. Taylor back near the wall. It's out of here! Flores ends it with a home run! Wilmer
next game.
That's the next
after
night.
The crying affair.
From tearjerker to hero, from League of Their Own to The Natural.
The book ends different than the movie The Natural. Do you realize that? In the book, he doesn't hit that home run. Are we going to argue about this? How long do we have to argue about The Natural?
This is what's crazy about this. The Washington Nationals, who should be running away with this division, are now in danger of being caught by Wilmer and the
Mark,
Mets.
did the Mets win tonight?
We have a Mets fan now.
They're even now with the Nats.
Well, there you go. They're caught.
Let's go, Mets.
See you at Bucs camp tomorrow, everybody.
Good night.
Wilmer.